Professor S.R. Ranganathan.
Ma'am, you can start.
I feel privileged to welcome you all again at Professor S.R. Ranganathan Web Symposium of Reinvigorating Library and Information Management, organized by FHSLA, RMLA, and Dr. Radhakishan State Central Library and Thieme Publishers. I heard books are the plane and the train and the road. They are the destination and the journey. They are home, and so we are the homemakers. Not only the keepers, we are the makers, providers, and so on. And I wish you all happy Librarians Day. And I'm so overwhelmed and excited to listen our eminent speakers for this session. So let me start our session. And with this, I invite Dr. P. Meena, Sir, President, FHSLA, to deliver the welcome address. जो हीरो है हमारे, जो पूजनीय है, हमारे दिशा निर्देशक मार्गदर्शक श्री रंगनाथन जी को पुष्पमाला अर्पण करने का जो हमारा ये समारोह है, उसके साथ बने रहिए। मैं एग्री करना चाहूंगी सभी डिग्निटरीज से, प्लीज आगे आए और इस समारोह का हिस्सा बने। अपने विचारों और अपनी भावनाओं के साथ साथ ही साथ हम ये जो पुष्प पुष्प क्योंकि मूक रह करके भी अपना संदेश सही तरह से पहुंचा पाते हैं, तो वो हम अपनी तरफ से अर्पण कर सकते हैं आज के दिन जो हम कर रहे हैं। उम्मीद करती हूँ कि जैसे ये दीप यहाँ प्रज्वलित है, ठीक उसी तरह से यह दीप हमारे क्षेत्र में, पुस्तकालय विज्ञान के क्षेत्र में प्रज्वलित रहे। हमें नई दिशाएं मिले, नई सोच मिले, नए विचार मिले, युवा पुस्तकालय अध्यक्ष मिले और हम नित नई उन्नति, प्रगति और तरक्की करें। I request PR Meena sir to deliver the welcome address.
Audible? Are you audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Good afternoon, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, I indeed feel honored to welcome to you all in the FHSLA National Librarians Day commemoration. The FHSLA is an organization to strengthen and promote medical and health education by enriching and revamping the libraries. The FHSLA executive has decided to organize a Professor Ranganathan Memorial Web Symposium on important subjects of practical significance towards fulfilling its mission and achieving the goal of strengthening libraries. FHSLA is consultation with RMLA and Dr. Radhakrishnan State Central Library Jaipur has decided to commemorate the National Librarians Day with some innovative and imaginative subject of policy relevance. We have collectively therefore decided to hold the commemorative event on Reinvigorating Library and Information Management. In the changing situation, in order to advance the mission of Professor S.R. Ranganathan and actualize his ideals, Professor Ranganathan is the founder of Library and Information Science as a discipline. In the Indian universities, his laws of library management are universally accepted. We, as librarians, feel proud to celebrate his birthday as National Librarians Day on 12th August. Hence, we have requested Dr. Dharamveer Singh, who is always patronizing and FHSLA, and as he has promoted and strengthened the Delhi University library system. During his tenure, he has always advocated research and quality in library and information science, thereby making libraries more relevant for the society. Delhi University Central Library is considered one of the best libraries in the country today. The experience and insight of the Dr. Dharamveer Singh will enrich our understanding of both library management and library and information science. Dr. Pawan Kumar Gupta has managed an impended University of Rajasthan Central Library as director for a long period of time. He not only has practical knowledge but insight into the issues and challenges in managing such a health library. The FHSLA therefore requested him to enlighten us by his practical experience. I personally welcome him on this occasion. Professor Karodi Singh is always ready to help and guide the FHSLA academic activities and event. His understanding and insight into the generation of the knowledge of social relevance is a great strength of FHSLA. We are constantly seeking his advice and guidance. He really agreed to speak on this occasion. Dr. Millie Vajpayee is a practical managing Dr. Robert Hellick Library, SMS Medical College. He is committed to her profession and pursuing research on various issues of library management. Her latest approach towards library advancement will bring a new perspective to the topic. I extend hearty welcome to all the speakers, namely Dr. Dharamveer Singh, Professor Karodi Singh, Dr. Pawan Kumar Gupta ji, and Dr. Millie Vajpayee. I believe that their vast experience in the field and commitment towards development and upliftment of library and its management will certainly prove a guiding force for all the LIS profession. I, on behalf of FHSLA, RMLA, and Dr. Radhakrishnan Center Library, and also on my own behalf, welcome them and express our sense of gratitude for sparing time this afternoon. Obviously, the event has been organized in collaboration with RMLA and Dr. Radhakrishnan Center Library. It is a not just collaboration between associations devoted to the cause of libraries and information science, but contribute to the broader objectives of social advancement in the field of library and information science. The Thieme Publishers and Walter Kluwer up to date are important partners in enriching the library through their service and technological inputs. I am grateful to both of them. They are really conscious about their social responsibilities of the making the libraries, and they are users tech savvy by collaborating in the academic event. The print and electronic media are giving wide coverage to the FHSLA events regularly. I am indeed thankful for publishing news about our event today. The FHSLA is highly grateful to the members of awards committee for reviewing and evaluating the nominations, for finalizing the list of awardees. The announcement of awards will be made at the end of the event. All these announced awards will be conferred in the next annual conference of FHSLA. Team members who are taking keen interest in FHSLA activities regularly. Last but not the least, the participants who have registered for the event are most valuable success of any webinar. I extend my hearty welcome to all of them and hope that the webinar will be a great learning experience for all those who are consulting online library resource and also in the clinical field of medical and health science. I feel privileged to welcome large number of participants and contributors of the event, both offline and online. It is not possible to name each and everyone. I welcome them all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. Your thought-provoking address set a perfect platform for our speakers. Reinvigorating is a very strong word and gives constant strength. Today's symposium is also rejuvenated and enlivened because we have the best speakers to give us the energy and way of thinking. I'm so elated to tell you the speakers for the session. Dr. Dharamveer Singh, sir, former University Librarian, University of Delhi. Dr. Pawan Kumar Gupta, former Director, Central Library, University of Rajasthan. Dr. Mili Vajpayee, Deputy Librarian, SMS Medical College, Jaipur. Professor Karori Singh, Advisor, FHSLA, and former Director, South Asia Studies Center. Now I request Dr. Dharamveer, sir, to please join us and share his views. I request Dharamveer Singh, sir, to please join us. Uh, किसी तकनीकी समस्या की वजह से सर हमसे थोड़ा देर से जुड़ पाएंगे। मेरा निवेदन है डॉक्टर पवन कुमार गुप्ता सर, फॉर्मर डायरेक्टर सेंट्रल लाइब्रेरी यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ राजस्थान। सर, आई रिक्वेस्ट यू टू प्लीज शेयर योर व्यू।
My colleagues, friends, Meena ji and advisor Dr. Karori Singh ji and my friend Mili Vajpayee, Dr. Dharamveer Singh, who is virtually joining us in this meeting, and participants. It's a very pleasant occasion to celebrate the 129th birthday of Dr. srranganathan. And due to his birth and due to his contribution being a genius, being considered as father of library science in India, the government of India has declared 12th August as the Librarians Day in India. And that's why all over India we find today people are celebrating this occasion. The concept is that let it not be a period to just praise Ranganathan. Let it not be a time or day to review Ranganathan's contribution, not only to study his life as a case study in the development and growth of library science in India, but rather we should talk about its implementation its relevance today, and how the foundations laid by him and his peers could be used for the growth and development of libraries in the country and library services to the common man. That should be our motive basically. If I fall back on what he did, very briefly I'll talk about. We can say I recollect a few incidents of his life I'd like to recall. Not going into the deep study of his life, just a few incidents to highlight how his mathematical understanding, how his philosophical understanding has been used critically to develop various concepts of library and information science. And that's how we know him as father of the library science. Practically, I'll talk about 2-3 incidents only. If we see what we today find as bibliometrics or citation studies or a variety of names we use for such studies, statistical applications to various disciplines, his document known as Preliminary to Library Classification finds the highest citation numbers in studies of library science about Ranganathan. So let's talk what it is. Why should it get highest citations when you talk about Ranganathan himself? The concept is basically the application of mathematics into categorization, into classification, into grouping various subjects, and development of certain new devices which could be used profitably to lay the normative principles of dividing the world of subjects or knowledge into various parts or groups or class, as we may call it technically. For this purpose, I'll go back into his life, because being a mathematician, and in those days when there was no professional training programs in the country on library science, scholar librarians used to be there, and he was appointed as University Librarian of University of Madras. Madras nowadays known as Tamil Nadu, but the university continues to be with the same name, University of Madras. Initially, he found a bit odd what he is doing, but after some time he spent in library, he felt it's a worth understanding the needs of the people and giving library services to them. During this period, he expressed his desire to get some training also, and the University of Madras was happy to depute him to London sometime in 1924 to study in London something about librarianship. There were popular institutions there for library science. People like Sears and other people were there to teach him. And his fellow beings who used to study are like Palmer, Wells, Vickery, Prospect, and people like that were there, his peers. One day, if I start with this background, just like Connaught Circus in Delhi, there is a bazaar in London which is known as Oxford Circus. In Oxford Circus, there was a big mall, and he was roaming around in the mall in one day evening. And in a children's section, he saw a game which is popular as Mechanosset nowadays. That various parts could be combined to form something, to form a new design, to form a new figure. That was the concept he saw basically with the help of Mechanosset. In 1925, when he was traveling back to India, his mind was still involved in working in using Mechanosset mentally, and he saw very similarity in its combination and thinking like concepts like matrices, concepts like probabilities. These concepts of mathematics and statistics, along with Mechanosset, was working in his brain behind, and he was thinking of something like that to develop in library science, which could be used to classify various documents or knowledge as such. The concept was because people were used to DV decimal classification in those days, which as you know all, is a enumerative system of classification, that we divide the whole knowledge in a sequence of subjects, give a sequence, and give a number to that. But this proved very rigid, and the universe of subjects is not a rigid area. Daily new subjects are coming up. Where to fit those new subjects into the existing enumerative DV decimal classification was the issue he was thinking of. And he thought that classification system, whichever scheme should be there, should have hospitality, which is a must, so that new subjects could be added at will wherever these are required in a filiatory sequence, in a required position. So that was behind it. And so he thought that somehow various concepts of a subject or the whole universe of subjects would be divided into certain categories. And if we could represent those categories, that is the isolates in terms of categories, then these isolates could be combined in a definite sequence, whichever sequence is required, and a new subject could be created, and the classification, that is the notational part of it, number part of it, would be simply used to give a particular position to that. Whereas the in idea plane or verbal plane, in thinking and in nomenclature, that is the language, a subject could be placed anywhere, and notationally it could be placed simply by combining various isolates or categories. That's how he developed the concept of fundamental categories, which is one of his major contributions. That is, he divided various isolates of subjects into personality, matter, energy, space, and time. So these categories he developed simply with this thinking that all isolates in a given subject could be categorized into these, and these could be combined at will to form a new subject and give a particular position to that subject in the existing structure of knowledge in a classification scheme also. And that is the way his classification scheme, actually the thought process actually developed. Later on, he developed postulates, various, you can say, canons, a variety of normative principles is developed, so that we can simply say in brief that he laid theoretical and philosophical foundations of classification. That was his basic contribution. And ultimately that led to creation of writing of the work that is known as Prolegmental Library Classification. The second area which I feel should be considered as seminal and important would be his 5 laws of library science. As you know, in other words, like, for example, laws of conduct if we see, हर आदमी ये कहता है कि सत्य बोलना चाहिए, the basic law of conduct. So such are the simple concepts which ultimately form the laws. One day he was thinking like that for a long time about creating some sort of basic normative principles which could be called as laws, seminal features of library science. And one day one of his teachers, mathematics teachers in Madras University, Edward Ross was there, his teacher of mathematics. And Mr. Ross was visiting him in the evening. He used to drive a motorcycle and he was at Ranganathan's place. He came in the evening and they used to discuss many things. And that's how mathematics again entered again and again in library science. And while going back, the Ross, while kicking his motorcycle, said to Ranganathan, "Do you say, Ranganathan, that books are for use is your law of library science?" And he went away after that. And that day, crystallization, the precipitation of laws started. The same evening, Ranganathan could finalize his 5 laws basically. He refined them further, and ultimately in 1928, that day, he could formulate his 5 laws of library science, which appear so simple but are so seminal that they influence almost every aspect of library and information and are valid even today. So the concept like that books are for use, you can say information is for use or whatever term you may use, the concept continues to be important even today. These two other laws which are relevant, which talk about correlate information with the user's needs from both sides, from information point of view and from user's point of view. From both points of view, these two laws were created. And the fourth law is so simple that you have to save the time of the user. A very seminal concept, because the very concept of library science or library services, that we work with the teachers, researchers, and we save their time. Otherwise, they will have to use much more time, and with our specialization and library work, we can reduce their needs to consult library much more, and we can help them in doing research. In fact, if we talk about collaborative research, very often an information scientist is a part of the collaborative team who contributes even today to the research team by giving them documentary help. Whatever has been generated till today of their relevance can be searched and produced to them, given to them, so that they can depend upon it and continue to do something new rather than repeating the whole thing which was done earlier by different scientists. So save the time of the user or the researcher or a teacher or whosoever is your clientele. He may be a housewife or a child in a public library or a student in a college or university or a researcher or a specialist researcher in a scientific library or research library as such. And the last law which he enunciated, which it remains very useful and working even today and is fully relevant. A very simple concept he gave was that library is a growing organism. We can travel from a organization to organism, very, very deep concept we can say. Organization is a monolithic structure. It is, you can say, very stable, non-changing type of characteristics are there if we talk about organization. As soon as we shift to organism, which is much more live, which is respirating, which is reacting to the responses, giving stimuli, given any stimuli, it will respond. So the concept like this it's a living concept. From organism to from organization to organism, that is the basic concept. That is, the library is a living organism. So it has to be live to the situation. If you think, I'll give you an example. What he gave within the library collection, he gave a very organization. He gave talk about a pupa pattern, for example. A pupa pattern is talked about umbrella concept, the very core concept, surrounded by documents which are penumbral in nature, which are colloquial and required for that assisting to that particular situation. And outside still there's an alien concept, which are environmental features. For example, if we are working in a library, there may be certain laws of government, laws of the public local body, which may be applying to us, laws of the building.
Hello, sir. I think the video is gone. Can anyone see the video?
No, Punish. No, sir. No, sir. Finish your message.
Yeah.
We are not getting the videos.
I think there is a network issue at their end.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Hello. ये कोई कंप्यूटर वाला
Education.
क्या होगा?
I think there is a cross-talk going on.
हेलो.
Dharamveer ji, you have to wait for 5 minutes. If you agree. I don't think he's listening.
Sir, your voice and video had gone for like 5 minutes. If you can repeat the lecture which was given in that time.
I think give him time. We can wind up. We'll have him in that.
Sir, you can continue until then. I just wanted to inform that your video and voiceover was unavailable for 5 minutes.
अभी जुड़ जाएगा धर्मवीर जी, आप लिंक पे रहो. Take a few minutes more
sir.
for link. हैं? अभी 2 मिनट.
सर
हाँ.
कैसे हैं आप?
Good morning and but good afternoon. Thank you very much. अभी 2 मिनट बाद आप जुड़ जाना मेरे साथ. मैं
ठीक है सर.
वाइंड अप कर रहा हूँ.
अरे नहीं सर, वाइंड अप मत
हाँ,
करिए.
नहीं।
आप वाइंड अप कर लेंगे फिर कैसे होगा?
So the concept is that we have to give value to our human resource development also continuously. Only then we can think of giving better services. Until and unless we have proper give you proper image and status to the human resource, we cannot think of that they can give us their best. That is the important aspect of this computer services also. The main thing I wish to emphasize is that we must be developing our whatever resources we are developing, that has to be in the context of our clientele. If it is a public library, we must know what is our community, the structure of the community. In a rural area, the community may constitute of, say, the farm workers, or the housewives, or the children, mainly agriculturalists. So accordingly, we have to develop our resources so that we are relevant to them. In an urban setting, for example, Radhakrishnan State Library, or our Mandal Pustakalayas in various, you can say, urban settings, we need to be conscious of the needs of the communities which we are serving. So our extraordinary dependence upon the same resources at each place is not important, and it may not be very useful to the clientele also. So we have to study our community to which we are serving. We must know the projects which are going on in that area. We must be knowing various schemes, whether of the government or NGOs or of other bodies, which are being pursued within that particular community or area. We must know various occupations and professions in which our community is working basically. We must know the growing youth and children in that particular area, what they are doing ultimately. So depending upon our community structure and their needs, our resources must be contextually relevant to them. That is area we must think of it. Because library, I said, is a growing organism. It must be responding to the needs of the community. So our collection development or all other activities have to respond to the needs of the community basically. Another aspect which I'll talk about is, because I have talked about system concept, I have talked about the concept of library as a living organism. So we have to be very responding to the community. That is how community can come to know what we have. The community, how they can access what we have. So our accessibility has to be very important. It is not important that we have lakhs of documents. That's not so important. Importance is that documents have to be relevant and they have to be accessible. That's why We talk about use of ICT, we talk about digitization, we talk about hybrid libraries, we talk about virtual libraries, we talk about digitization being adopted by libraries. So all concepts lead to accessibility of documents and information which can be relevant to our community. So accessibility has to be improved. That has to be whether you use a software or whether you use any type of organizational tools and techniques. The concept is that we have to improve the accessibility. So we find that now today people are using apps. I recall today in one of the libraries in South in Pune or probably they are going to inaugurate a use of mobile app services for their community today itself. Because with the help of mobile apps, they are going to help their community to access their resources of the university or to find out what the collection has so that they can be responding to that. And especially in last 1.5 year, we have seen this during this pandemic, when our community has not been able to reach the library properly. We have not been able to serve them properly. So we need some sort of use of ICT and virtualization techniques so that we can reach them wherever they are. So we need to have what we call remote facility, basically, remote access facility. Although it will be slightly costly for the libraries to shift over, but it is not within a day. It takes time. So we need to plan accordingly so that they can have access to our resources and our services. So that is basically my emphasis today, that we must remember Ranganathan, but we have lost the torch bearers. There is no institution dedicated to Ranganathan today. There is no archives in the country maintaining the documents and his contributions in original form in an archive. There is no torch bearer. Even the DRTCS, which we call as the basic institution, which is where he devoted much of his life, probably has lost contact with what he was developing. And we find even the colon classification, the 7th edition, is hardly available basically to us even today. And the use of his postulates and all theoretical foundations basically need to be emphasized in the context of today's working of the library. We must remember he basically emphasized modernization implicitly when he talked about that library is a living organ. He conceived of hospitality of services. He conceived of hospitality of new techniques. He conceived of application of new techniques. So we have to take into mind and put his theoretical foundations into practical use even today. Only then, in true sense, we can be grateful to Ranganathan, the father of library science. So in brief, this is what I wanted to communicate today, not taking much of your time. I like to thank people at Federation of Health Science Library Association and Rajasthani Medical Library Association and Radhakrishnan State Central Library. All these institutions have been devoting to the library and information science ever since they have been created. And fortunately, I have linked with all these three institutions ever since these have been created. So I'm grateful to the people who are managing these institutions and people who have organized today's webinars and given me an opportunity to be with you. I'm grateful to you. Thank you very much. I'll be happy if you have any questions or curiosity to which I can respond. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm really mesmerized and charmed by your fluency. I mean, in the questions and the seen, unseen, heard and heard things you told us are really amazing. This is the, you are truly a plethora of information. I mean, itself institute. So really hats off to you, sir. The information you have given us, we could not read it anywhere. And Thank you so much for being with us. With this, Dr. Dharamveer sir could not attend the session and we could not hear him due to some technical reason. Now sir is with us and I request Dr. Dharamveer Singh sir to please join us. I request Dr.
Yes.
Dharamveer Singh sir to please join us.
Am I
We are
audible?
very eager
Am
to
I
hear you.
audible?
Thank you sir.
थैंक मैम। पहले तो मैं माफी चाहता हूँ कि ये जो टेक्नोलॉजी है, मैं सुनाई दे रहा है, मेरी आवाज आ रही है? और am I audible? Is
Yes,
my
sir. We are getting
voice
you.
okay? Fine. तो माफी चाहूंगा, थोड़ा टेक्नोलॉजी अगर हमको फेलिसिटेट करती है, मदद करती है, तो कई बार हमको अटका भी देती है। तो उसी में कुछ हुआ और मुझे बहुत मैं को नहीं सुन पाया, तो मैंने कहा एक मन रहता है तो कुछ रह नहीं जाता है, बट फिर भी कोशिश करूंगा। और बस यही मैं हमेशा शुरू कर रहा हूँ, आज वहीं से शुरू कर कि जब उसने कहा कि मैं तो मैं भी ज्ञान के जो सागर थे, हमारे जो फादर ऑफ लाइब्रेरी साइंस थे, वो तो ज्ञान के सागर थे। उस जगह में चल कागज पे बैठ करके, इसलिए कहीं गड़बड़ हो जाए तो पहले से तैयार रहना। दूसरी बात उन्होंने कही रघुवंश में कालिदास जी ने कि एक बोना व्यक्ति जो 2 फीट का है, वो खजूर के फल तोड़ने की कोशिश कर रहा है। तो वो इतना ऊंचा पेड़ होता है, उस पे इतने ऊंचे में पेड़ में फल के होते हैं, इतने मीठे भी होते, लेकिन वो तोड़ने के लिए हमारे रंगाना की उस ऊंचे पेड़ से मेरे जगह आदि कोई फल उसे तोड़ पाए। इसके साथ में अपनी बात शुरू करता हूँ। सबसे पहले धन्यवाद, और मोहम्मद से भले ही प्रयास करते रहते हैं, और प्रोफेसर करोड़ी जी जो हमसे बहुत सीनियर हैं, बड़े, आप सबका बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूं, और एसोसिएशन का कि आपने मुझे जयपुर में आने का मौका दिया। जयपुर मेरे सेकंड होम जिसको कह दे उस तरह से है, और मैं जितना जयपुर में रहा बहुत स्नेह मिला मुझे। और मैं रंगानाथन जी पे बात पाऊंगा। पहले आपके पास में बैठे हुए, चाहे उनको आप मिनी रंगानाथन कह ले, पवन गुप्ता जी की एक बात बताऊंगा। मैं यहाँ रीजनिंग कॉलेज में, तब ये मालवीय रीजनिंग कॉलेज जो यहाँ ज्वाइन किया, तो मुझे थे यूनिवर्सिटी में, वहां देखे मैं जानते थे, बट इससे परे कुछ नहीं था। तो खैर वहां बैठ गए। इनका एक स्वभाव है, हमेशा एक बहुत ही एक अच्छा मतलब सही सेंस ऑफ ह्यूमर अंग्रेजी में बहुत अच्छा है। तो चाहे इन्होंने मेरा मुंह के बोले रहे तो गलती हो गई, इनको फीकी मंगवाते तो मीठी आती, मेरे से गलती हो गई, मैं फीकी कहने भूल गया तो होठ चिपका देगी। इस तरह का इनका एक सेंस ऑफ ह्यूमर है। बट मैंने कहा सर, मैं रिक्वेस्ट किया, बताओ कुछ जर्नल है, मैं तो मंगवा नहीं सकता, वहाँ सब्जेक्ट भी नहीं है। तो मैं चाहता हूँ अगर मुझे ओवरनाइट मिल जाए तो मैं नेक्स्ट डे मॉर्निंग दे दूंगा, जो मुझे आर्टिकल जरूरत होगी फोटो कर लूंगा। एंड आई वाज सरप्राइज, कौन इतनी आसानी से, सिंह साहब कोई तो इनकी धूल झाड़ने वाला आया, आप चिंता मत, जितने चाहिए ले जाइए, जब आपका काम बेच पड़ कम से कम पड़ेगा। अंग्रेज हुआ उसको मैं ले आऊं, एंड दैट वाज द बिगिनिंग ऑफ आवर क्लोज रिलेशनशिप। तो मैं तो कहूंगा कि रानाथन जी की उन्होंने कैसे, तो ये सबसे बड़ा इनका पॉजिटिव किया, और इनसे बल्कि सीखा भी है। जहां तक रंगानाथन जी की बात है, वो बहुत बड़े थे, इसमें तो कोई दो राय नहीं है, लेकिन उनको बहुत सताया हमने है, ऐसी कोई उसमें भी दो राय। वैसे कहा कि कुछ महान पैदा होते हैं, कुछ महानता को प्राप्त कर लेते हैं, और कुछ पे महानता थोप दी जाती है। तो रंगानाथन जी ना तो महान पैदा हुए थे, ना उन पे किसी ने महानता थोपी थी। महानता तो उन्होंने प्राप्त की थी अपने परिश्रम से, और वो भी परिश्रम ऐसा नहीं था 1 दिन 2 दिन का, वो वर्षों तक लगे रहकर किया था। उनका व्यक्तिगत जीवन, चाहे वो पारिवारिक, बहुत बहुत सुखद नहीं था। बहुत कम के पास, ऐसे उस डिटेल में मैं नहीं जाना चाहता। पहली पत्नी उनसे नाराज रहती थी कि बिजी रहते थे, प्रेग्नेंट एंड उसी स्थिति उनकी इशू रहे। दूसरी शादी, फिर माँ। उनके बेटे ने किताब लिखी है, योगेश्वर ने, सrranganathan, प्रैग्मेटिक फिलोसफर ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन साइंस, उसने बहुत डिटेल में लिखा है। एंड सो मच सो इनके एक भाई थे, उनसे भी कुछ था, इन्होंने सब वहां नहीं मिली। लेकिन क्योंकि जब ये इधर आए लाइब्रेरी साइंस में, तो एक इनको एडिक्शन का, ये एक नशा था लाइब्रेरी का, और उसमें वो रात दिन काम करते थे। तो लोग कई बार उनके बारे में कहते थे, जब वो इंग्लैंड से लौट रहे थे तो उन्होंने 7 पॉइंट लिखे थे अपनी डायरी में, जो आज भी अवेलेबल है उनके बेटे नहीं पॉइंट को पेट्रोल एटम दोबारा होगी और कोई रास्ता नहीं है। ऑफ लाइफ टू एजुकेशन, ये उनका टू क्रिएट ए कैडर ऑफ लाइब्रेरी प्रोफेशनल्स। मैं एक लाइब्रेरी प्रोफेशनल्स का कैडर क्रिएट करूंगा जब यहाँ कुछ था ही नहीं। टू रियलाइज लाइब्रेरी सर्विस as mass education potential in a college classroom or a university classroom। बोले इसे मास मूवमेंट बना दूंगा मैं एजुकेशन की, एक मेरा उद्देश्य ये था। एंड टू कंडक्ट रिसर्च इन लाइब्रेरी साइंस, और लाइब्रेरी साइंस में हिंदुस्तान में रिसर्च होगी, ये एक उनका था। एंड टू स्टे इन लाइब्रेरी प्रोफेशन थ्रू आउट हिज लाइफ। पर लास्ट में उन्होंने संकल्प लिया, मैं कभी इस प्रोफेशन को नहीं दूंगा। ये 7 उसने एक आसान लेआउट तो उन्होंने क्रिएट कर ही दिया, काफी किया। अभी जो बचा वो हम सबको मिलके आगे पूरा करना है, तभी जाकर रंगनाथन को हम सही और समय पे कर सके। आज बहुत से देश में ख्याल से की संख्या में 2006 फरवरी में हम लोग चंडीगढ़ पीजी डीएवी, वहाँ एक डीएवी कॉलेज में एक सेमिनार था, उसमें गए थे। तो वहां पे जो हुए वहीं से एमपी थे, वो आए थे। हमने और एक तिवारी जी थे एआई फुक्टो के सेक्रेटरी, और कई लोगों ने मिलकर उनसे कहा कि आप एक काम करिए, आपने हमारी बहुत मदद की है 6 पे कमीशन में, आप इसको जो 12 अगस्त है इसको ऑफिशियली लाइब्रेरियंस डे डिक्लेयर कर दीजिए। और हम साथ में आपको इसकी मांगे। तो जब उनकी उन्होंने पॉलिटिशियन के ये कहने की इस दिन को हमारा दिन मनवा दीजिए, पर हम छुट्टी नहीं मांगे, तो छुट्टी मांगने आते। लाइब्रेरियन लोगों से को मानता है, इसलिए छुट्टी में विश्वास नहीं। और गवर्नमेंट ने लाइब्रेरियंस डे घोषित किया। ये इसी तरह से कुछ कुछ कोई कंट्रीब्यूट करता रहता है, चलता रहता है जीवन। तो ये जो हमारा बढ़ते जाओ, नेति नेति जो हुआ इसका ये क्या हुआ है, तो कुछ नहीं हुआ। अभी आप सोच लीजिए, जब आप एमलिब कर रहे थे, मैं करा लगा हाँ एमलिब हो जाए तो पता नहीं क्या हो जाएगा, तो एमलिब के बाद तो हमें लगा तो कुछ भी नहीं हुआ, अब कुछ और करो, अब कुछ और करो। तो वो जो हमारे वेद में कहा कि जो मिल गया उसका कोई ज्यादा नहीं है, आगे बढ़ो बढ़ाओ, ये रंगानाथन का, इसलिए उन्होंने अपने उद्देश्य साथ रखे थे कि मैं 3 काम करूंगा। पहले मैं आई डेडिकेट हिमसेल्फ टू दी to the by creating every habit in the course। मार्केट लोगों में पढ़ने की आदत डाल करके, ये 3 बातें उनकी बड़ी महत्वपूर्ण था। he passed politicians to recognize the importance of like librarians, and उसने कभी पॉलिटिशियंस को पुश किया, उनके पीछे नहीं फिरे बल्कि पुश किया, और उनको कहा कि भाई इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन लाइक लाइब्रेरीज टू एजुकेट सिटीजन एंड गेट नेसेसरी लेजिस्लेटिव एंड फिस्कल सपोर्ट टू सच सेंटर्स। कि भाई आप लॉ बनाइए और सर पे मद्रास चेटिया उनका स्टूडेंट था, पर्सनल मांग सकते थे, वो ड्राफ्ट लेके बोले कि मैं टीचर्स को पुश करूंगा, इनको कन्विंस करूंगा कि ये फाइनेंस दे इन सेंटर्स को और ला बनाए लाइब्रेरी लेजिस्लेशन के थ्रू करो, क्रिएटिव बेसिस इन्फॉर्मेशन एक साइंटिफिक बेस दूंगा, ये कुछ नहीं होगा। और साइंटिफिक बेसिस एक एम्पिरिकल स्टडीज होती है, एक फैक्ट बेस होता है। ये उनके मुख्य उद्देश्य थे। इस पे उन्होंने बहुत काम किया। दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में खोला तो वो पहला डिपार्टमेंट जहाँ पे मास्टर्स ऑफ लाइब्रेरी साइंस होने लगी थी। नहीं तो पूरे कॉमनवेल्थ में 54 कंट्रीज है, जिसमें कनाडा, इंग्लैंड और ऑस्ट्रेलिया जैसे देश हैं जो बहुत रिच हैं, न्यूजीलैंड, वहां भी नहीं थी। लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली हम उस ताकत को जो हमें देख गए थे, नहीं मैं इस पर विचार करना होगा। मैं पूरा एक बात कह रहा हूँ, 11 साल में चौहान राजस्थान पे कब्जा किया। सी द डिफरेंस बिटवीन गुलाम हो रहे थे और एक एकेडमी तो आसाइस हो गए उसकी हुई है, लेकिन हमारे पास एक 2 साल पूरे किए और उसका वही लेवल हो जो कभी उसका 50s में था, उसकी 50 साल की उम्र में था। इस पे हमें विचार करना होगा। हमारा डिपार्टमेंट लाइब्रेरी साइंस बहुत बढ़िया सेक्शन है दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी का, और यूटिलाइज नहीं होती थी क्योंकि सब कुछ वहां पे है। बट उसका लेवल हमें कहाँ ले जाना था, कहाँ ले गए, इस पे डिबेट करने का यह अवसर भी नहीं, विचार करने का है। व्यक्तिगत स्तर पे इस पे विचार करिए। इस तरह से हमें उसको आगे बढ़ाना था। तो जहां तक रंगानाथन जी के व्यक्तिगत जीवन की बात है, तो ही अलग कुछ लिखा, लेकिन हमको होना चाहिए। तो इतनी बढ़िया बायोग्राफी है, मैंने उसको पढ़ाया, फिर मैंने कॉपी उसकी देने जी को दी। तो उन्होंने कहा वो मैथमेटिक्स मैथमेटिक्स को ऑक्सफोर्ड वही जीवन है। बहुत सारी बायोग्राफी पढ़ी, ए मैन हु बायोग्राफी मैंने नहीं पढ़ी, और उन्होंने कहा मैं इसको हिंदी में अनुवाद कराऊंगा ताकि ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों तक ये किताब पहुंच सके। ये उनका एक जीवन था। और वो किसी चीज को बिल्कुल मैथमेटिशियन थे, वो ऐसे नहीं लेते थे। लेकिन एक उनकी बड़ी बात ये थी कि सवेरे उठते थे, फिर वो नहाना, फिर पूजा करना, और नित्य प्रति वो रामायण का पाठ करते थे, वाल्मीकि रामायण। उनकी संस्कृत बहुत अच्छी थी, तमिल ब्राह्मण थे तो संस्कृत उनके रक्त में होती है, नित्य प्रति करते हैं। लेकिन बेटे लिखते हैं बार कहा कि जितनी भी हम लोग पूजा करते, मुझे hypocrisy in his book. That is a divine hypocrisy. ग्रेट करते जैसे उन्होंने उसमें कहा कि भाई नॉलेज इज नेचर, नॉलेज एक थिंग। सोचता हूँ जरूरी नहीं मैं कल भी वैसा ही सोचूं, कल मैं कुछ अलग सोचूंगा। साइंस में रोज बदलता है चीजें, सोशल साइंसेज में बदलती हैं। जब तक हमारे पास ये नहीं, आपने खुदाई नहीं थी उसकी, क्या कहते हैं, मोहनजोदड़ो की, राखल दास बनर्जी और दयाराम साहनी ने उसको नहीं ढूंढा था, मार्शल ने उसमें खुदाई नहीं की थी, तब तक हमारा इतिहास कुछ और था। 1905 में हमें चाणक्य का अर्थशास्त्र मिला, वो मद्रास में सोमा शास्त्री ही लाइब्रेरी, तो एक उसमें था लिपि में उसके अपने आप को जो है अपग्रेड करती रहती है। लोग कहते हैं ऑब्सलीट करती है, मैं नहीं, ऑब्सलीट नहीं करती है। तो रंग अपना बात बुलक कार्ट है, घोड़ा ट्रेन एंड ऑल दैट एरिया। टेलीग्राम आ गए, टेलेक्स आ गए, उसमें उन्होंने काम किया। एंड व्हेन ही डाइड इन जेट एंड जंबो जेट एरा। तो उन्होंने 3 देखे। इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी बहुत तेजी से आगे बढ़ रही थी, यूरोप में आ गई थी, बुलक कार्ट से चले थे वो, फिर ट्रेन में आए। उसी तरह से उन्होंने अपने को अपग्रेड किया, उसी तरह से उन्होंने अपना थिंकिंग प्रोसेस को आगे बढ़ाया। और जब वो इस दुनिया से गए, वो जो थे एक जंबो जेट के टाइम पे यहाँ से गए, तो उन्होंने 3 फेज देखिए, कम लोगों के ऐसा होता है कि तीनों से और फिर एक्मोटिव आगे बढ़े बात सर्वाइवल ऑफ द फिटेस्ट। हु इज द फिटेस्ट? इज दोज हु एडॉप्ट एंड adapt. They are fittest and they will only. यहाँ विचार करना होगा थोड़ा सा गुप्ता जी को, क्या हमने एडॉप्ट एंड अडेप्ट किया अपने आप? इफ वी विल नॉट अडेप्ट, वी विल सर्वाइव। हमें कॉपी नहीं करना, हमें एडॉप्ट एंड अडेप्ट करना। हम कॉपी करने चल दिए, 24 घंटे एक नशा सा चढ़ गया कुछ लोगों को डिजिटल। ठीक है, डिजिटल के नीड ऑफ द आवर, बट इसे एडॉप्ट एंड अडेप्ट करो, इसके गुलाम मत बनो। ये एक चीज उसमें बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है। वैसे तो बातें बहुत सारी करने को हैं, और मुझे नहीं पता कितने मिनट का टाइम मुझे आप दे रहे हैं बोलने का, बताएंगे? हेलो, हाँ जी, कितना वो टाइम है मेरे पास?
सर चाहते तो हम ये है कि हम आपको यूं ही निरंतर
Am I
सुनते
on?
रहें, है ना? हेलो, हेलो,
टाइम क्या है?
हेलो। नहीं सर, अभी आप हमारे साथ और 5-10 मिनट आप हमें ये
टाइम
मौका
जरा
दे
बताइए
सकते हैं
मुझे,
कि हम आपको सुन
समराइज।
सकें। प्लीज आप कहते रहें सर।
अब मैं दूसरे पार्ट पे उन्होंने और मद्रास यूनिवर्सिटी में जितना उन्होंने काम किया उतना ही उनको सताया गया, क्योंकि मैनेजमेंट का एक बेसिक सिद्धांत है। वो एक बात कहते हैं कि आप अपना काम करो, क्या दिक्कत है? आप कितने भी ईमानदार रहो, कोई किसी को क्या दिक्कत हो सकती है? जिस क्षण आप किसी से काम कराने लगोगे और जिस क्षण किसी दूसरे को ईमानदार बनाने लगोगे, आप तैयार रहना, आपको अच्छी तरह से क्रूसीफाई किया जाएगा। वो रंगानाथन जी के साथ भी हुआ। कोला साहब तो उनके बारे में लिखते हैं कि मैं गया वहां पे, मैं नीलकंठ शास्त्री बहुत बड़े उनसे मिला, तो रंग तो रिटायर हो गए थे, लेकिन हैड टू रिटायर थे, तो उनका एड्रेस पूछने लगे, कोई एड्रेस नहीं बता रहा था। कोई कह रहा था उन्होंने मद्रास छोड़ दिया, कोई कह रहा था चले भद्र थे, लाइब्रेरी हो गई थे, तुम भी ब्राह्मण हो, मैं भी ब्राह्मण हूँ, तो बताओगे नहीं? लिखूंगा ही नहीं, पर्ची किसी का हाथ लग गई। हम तो रंगानाथन जी के साथ कोऑपरेट करते थे, हमारी तो बहुत बुरी हालत हुई और बुरी हालत हो जाएगी। तो बाद में खैर वो हमसे मिले, डिटेल नहीं, थोड़ा सा, क्योंकि टाइम के हिसाब से चलना होता है, समय की अपनी सीमाएं। एक बड़ी बात उनके जीवन में जो हमको सोचना पड़ेगा, वो कितने बड़े इंसान थे। दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी ने उनको एक ऑनररी डिग्री जो यूनिवर्सिटी देती है बड़े बड़े लोगों को, अब तो किसी को भी मिल जाता है, लेकिन उस समय दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में वो भी अभी भी ढंग मिलता है, लेकिन उस समय दिया तो 7 लोगों को एक साथ था। उन 17 जब सब मिल डॉक्टरेट, उसमें जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी थे, उस समय मौलाना अब्दुल कलाम थे, राजकुमार थे, जो डायरेक्टर जनरल ऑफ आर्कियोलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया, एसएन सेन थे, जो बहुत बड़े स्कॉलर हुए और नेशनल आर्काइव के डायरेक्टर थे, वी.के.आर.वी. राव, फादर ऑफ इंडियन इकोनॉमिक्स, जिन्होंने दिल्ली स्कूल ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स को एस्टेब्लिश किया, मद्रास स्कूल ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स किया, इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ एस्टेब्लिश करी, और जो दुनिया में हमेशा जिनका नाम रहेगा। और एन.वी. थड़ानी थे, एस.एस. भटनागर थे, शांति स्वरूप भटनागर अवार्ड दिया जाता है, के.एस. कृष्णा, डायरेक्टर जनरल फिजिकल लेबोरेटरी, फाउंडर डायरेक्टर जनरल फिजिकल लेबोरेटरी, डी.एन. वाडिया, आचार्य, बी.एन. बहादुर, सब कितने बड़े लीगल थे। और जो दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी को दिया गया, उन्हीं के साथ रंगानाथन जी को भी ऑनररी डिग्री मिली। ये कितना बड़ा सम्मान था। बनारस में उनके साथ बहुत अच्छा नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि जब वो गए, वहां जो लोग थे वो तो मजे करते थे, पान खाते थे, इधर सवेरे 4 बजे उठ के गंगा जी जाना। पहले तो 3 दिन इनको मद्रास से वहां जाने में लगे। इनका बेटा लिखता है कि मैं छोटा था, 3 दिन जर्नी, और मद्रास वहां गए, सामान वामान सब पैक करके, और उसके बाद वो 4 बजे उठ के गंगा नहा के घर आके पूजा करके लाइब्रेरी में पढ़ाते थे और 10 बजे तक बैठ के वहां नोटिफिकेशन करते। 10 बजे में कोई एक नहीं छोड़ देना, लॉक करके नहीं जाओ, बजे तक उसको खत्म करके तब अपने घर आते थे। अनफॉर्चुनेटली जो भी कहीं बहुत झेली थी वो भी होती थी। स्कूल चला गया, ये वो बेचारी अकेली, इनकी जो वो लिखते हैं योगेश्वर कि मेरी माँ सारा दिन जो है कितना पढ़ेगी, टेलीविजन नहीं, बट सम यूज्ड टू कीप बिजी हरसेल्फ, तो वहां काम करते रहे। कितनी सब बातें वहां पे हुई, उनके साथ तंग किया गया बहुत। उन्हें एक बहुत बड़ा मकान दे दिया, फिर वहां प्रोफेसर के मकान में 6 बेडरूम होते, उन्होंने कहा मेरे से तो नहीं संभलेगा, मुझे छोटा मकान दीजिए। बोले नहीं, छोटा नहीं मिलेगा। बहुत हुज्जत करने के बाद इनको फिर एक 3 बेडरूम का मकान दिया गया। बोला इसमें रखा। अभी भी वहां मकान प्रोफेसर के उनको ले नहीं होता, उनका पाइप 4 दे दिया। तो इनसे मेरी मुलाकात हुई तो बोले यार बंगले का करूँ क्या, पर्ची है उसमें करिए। तो वहां की तरफ चल दिए तो रास्ते में ड्राइवर से लो, मैं अभी को देख लूं। उसने कहा नहीं नहीं ये नहीं होगा, चलो भाई। थोड़ी देर में उसका एक जो वर्कर था जो सामान लाने, वो गिर गया। गाड़ी रुकी, उन्होंने उसको देखा, अच्छा आप मिल लीजिए। ये तुरंत गए, डॉक्टर को लेके आए, उसका इलाज कराया और तब जाके उसने कहा नहीं साहब आप तो बहुत बड़े आदमी, हमसे गलती होगी। आए, फिर वाइफ को देखा, लगभग बीमार स्थिति में, ठीक तो थोड़ा हो गई थी। वहां से राम हॉस्पिटल था, कोई नहीं था, क्या नहीं है, केवल गलती ये थी कि काम करते थे, काम कराते थे। तो ये उनके जीवन बहुत सारी बातें कि उनके वो नेशनल लाइब्रेरी कैलकाटा जा रहे थे, ट्रेन का उसको ड्राफ्ट किए हुए नियम था, बिना नहाए खाते नहीं थे। तो 3 दिन अपना पानी वानी पी के पहुंचे और लौट के आए, उसको फाइनल किया और प्रिंट में दे दिया, दिस इज माई कैटलॉग को। इस तरह से वो काम करते थे। उनके बेटे लिखते हैं कि वो सवेरे बार तो बोले बनारस में मैंने देखा कि मेरी माँ, मेरी दादी जो उनको खाना खिलाती रहती थी और वो लिखते रहते थे, बोले मुझे काम खत्म करना। एक बार वो एक डॉक्टर के पास गए, उन्हीं के अनुसार मैं बता के और भी बहुत सारा पढ़ा है। तो बोले तो उनका कुछ नहीं, आप लाइब्रेरी में छोड़िए, काम छोड़ोगे तो आपका नर्वस ब्रेक नहीं हुआ। ऐसे एक साधु थे, उनका नाम सब शिव प्रकाश करते रहते थे। तो एक बार अपनी वाइफ को उनको भी लेके गए, वो बोलते भी नहीं थे, तो मुस्करा देते थे, ये उतने से खुश रहते थे। एक एक क्षेत्रीय तुरिया स्वामी करके हुए, बड़ा नाम है उनका अध्यात्म में, वो इनके घर आया करते थे और उन्होंने बहुत लिखा है, उनकी बहुत किताबें हैं दर्शनों के ऊपर। घंटों घंटों इनके घर पे उनकी चर्चा हुआ करती थी शास्त्रों के ऊपर। इस तरह से उनका था। वो जो वेद में लिखा आनो बद्रा करतो यंतु विश्वता है, सारी दुनिया से, ऋग्वेद में लिखा सारी दुनिया से अच्छे विचार हमारे पास आए। जहां से भी कुछ अच्छा विचार मिले मैं उसे ग्रहण पढ़ते गए, हम रोजाना अपने आप को बड़ा करते गए। लेकिन जिम्मेदारी हमारी आ जाती है। कोई ने कहा कि कोलविन है, जो नहीं सकते, जो नहीं सकते, नहीं तो कोलन, आज सारी दुनिया में कोलन है और कोलन के जितने कोटिंग है उनको कहीं रेफरेंस दे बिना सारा कुछ एडॉप्ट कर लिया। उनके पास पहले एक फिक्स शेड्यूल आइसोलेट्स हमने बनाए थे, उन्होंने स्टैंडर्ड सब डिवीजन के फॉर्म में ले लिए। इस तरह बहुत चीजें हुई हैं जो उनसे ली है, लेकिन उन्हें कोट नहीं किया। उनके जीवन की एक घटना है, वो एक बार पढ़ी हुई बता रहा हूं मैं। तो वहां गए हुए थे अमेरिका में। तो एक हीरो की फैक्ट्री थी, तो उसमें उनको उनका जो मैनेजर था वो वहीं बैठे हुए थे। उसका दिक्कत तुम्हारा पैसे तो नहीं, अलग अलग सही करना है। मैंने सुना इंडिया में कोई स्कीम डेवलप वहीं बैठे थे, ठीक है, इस जगह को दिया। शाम को उनके मालिक बुलाए, तो बट वाइफ से रहा नहीं गया, उनके मुकाबले उतनी मैच्योर नहीं रहे होंगे। तो उन्होंने कहा यही तो है जिन्होंने ये बनाई। तो बहुत बड़ा हीरा उनको दिया, ले नहीं रहे थे, बोले हम हिंदुस्तानी विद्या नहीं बेचते, हम विद्या का दान करते हैं। बट फिर भी नहीं माने, उनको दे दिया। वो बहुत जिद करके लेके आए और आके बोले शारदा इसका क्या करना है। तो उसने कुछ सोना दिया, सोने मंडवा के तिरुपति मंदिर में दे दिया। व्यक्तिगत जीवन में रंगानाथन जी निहात कंजूस व्यक्ति थे, लेकिन प्रोफेशन के लिए वो इतने उदार, कोई हद नहीं। जैसे आरटीसी खड़ी अभी छोड़ दी, जब आरटीसी में रंगानाथन जी के लिए एक 12 अगस्त को दिन होगा, बाकी रंगानाथन जी का क्या वो पढ़ाते। जो सबसे बड़ा नुकसान पहुंचा उन्हीं के चेलों ने पहुंचा, जो उनके नाम से जीते रहे, उनके नाम से कमलिंग बातें तो बहुत सारी हैं। इतना बड़ा मैंने पहले ही कहा था, सागर को मैं कागज की नाव पे बैठ के पार करने चला हूं, नहीं हो रखना है। तो उनके जो 7 सिद्धांत उन्होंने अपने लिए बनाए थे, उनको अपने सामने रख के हमें ये देखना होगा कि इसमें मैं कहाँ क्या आहुति डाल दूं और कितनी आहुति डाल दूं। इसमें बस इतना ही कहूंगा कि कई बार हम कहते थे मेरे करने से क्या होगा, तो मैं एक कहानी हमेशा कहता हूँ। आज फिर एक बार जंगल में एक चिड़िया चोंच भर पानी डाल रही थी। दूसरे पक्षियों ने पूछा क्या होगा, आग जगी बिलने में। फिर इसकी जब इस जंगल के आग लगने का इतिहास लिखा जाएगा तो मेरा नाम बुझाने वालों में लिखा जाएगा और तुम्हारा नाम दर्शन में लिखा जाएगा। बस इतना ही अंतर है। तो हमारी चोंच से भले ही आग बुझे इस जंगल की, लेकिन हम उसमें चोंच में पानी भर के जरूर डालें। ये संकल्प हम आज लें और जितना भी हो सके उतना थोड़ा बहुत हम जरूर करें, तभी जाके हम रंगानाथन बहुत सही सही ट्रिब्यूट दे पाएंगे। नहीं तो खाली एक सेरेमोनियल होगा, कुछ दिन बाद हो सकता है फिर ये 12 अगस्त बिना मने और फिर बात ही खत्म हो जाए। फिर हम कहें कि कोई रंगानाथन कोई चाणक्य था जैसी स्थिति हो। तो इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं अपनी वाणी को विराम दूंगा और फिर धन्यवाद करूंगा आयोजकों का बहुत विशेष रूप से, और सर पवन गुप्ता जी का और भी ज्यादा। इन्होंने मुझे हमेशा छोटे भाई की तरह स्नेह दिया है। और एक बात इनकी और कहनी पड़ेगी मुझे, मैं वर्धा में था तो मुझे मैं हिंदी में अनुवाद करने इसके फाइल में कुछ आपको होगी तो। और सर सर वर्ड सर कोरियर के थ्रू मेरे पास भेज दी। आज भी किताब मैं सोच मेरे लाइफ भी नहीं उड़नी नहीं हो सकता इतने प्यार से, नहीं तो उन्हें क्या जरूरत पड़ी। ठीक हाँ भाई थी होगी, नहीं मैं भेजता हूँ मेरे पास है। एंड जब वो पहुंच गई मैं फोन किया, अरे ना बोले थैंक्स क्या होगा, मिलना ही तो थैंक्स होता है। एक्नॉलेज करते थैंक्स करता हूँ, वो माफी चाहता हूँ को मेरे से गलती हुई। आपने मुझे बहुत स्नेह दिया, मेरे को बहुत प्रेरित किया, बहुत उत्साहित किया, और आप हमेशा प्रोफेशन में करते ही है। और एक और रंगानाथन यहाँ जयपुर में हुए, उन्हें हम कम नहीं जानते, शायद 21 बर्थडे मंथ के बारे में रंगाना ने उनके लिए नीला मेघन को भेजा था। उसमें लिखा था कि जो मैं लिखता हूँ तुम वो में इतना ही साथ में और भी चाहूंगा, क्योंकि श्रोता जो होता है वो बड़ा होता है और वक्ता छोटा होता है। इसलिए क्षमा बड़न को चाहो तो आप बड़े हैं, कहीं कुछ गलती रह गई हो उसके लिए माफ करना। और इन शब्दों के साथ आप सबका बहुत 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 धन्यवाद।
जो असली आनंद होता है किसी को सुनने का, वह बिल्कुल हमें भरपूर तौर पे प्राप्त हुआ है। हम कभी नहीं चाहते आप अपनी वाणी को विराम दें, हम आपको निरंतर सुनते रहें और आप कहते रहें। जब आप बातें कर रहे थे तो आई कुड सेंस कि रंगनाथन के प्रति जो आपका प्यार है, जो आपका सम्मान है, वो आपके पूरे व्यक्तित्व में समाया हुआ है। जिस तरह से बचपन में माता हमें बच्चों को अधिकांशतः चालीसा याद कराती है कि ये बहुत जरूरी है जीवन में प्रोटेक्शन के लिए बहुत सारी बाधाओं से, उस तरह से जीवन में रंगनाथन आपके उसी प्रारूप में पूरी तरह से उतरे हुए हैं। नए पुस्तकालय अध्यक्ष जो है, नए जो है, जो नई पीढ़ी के लोग हैं, उन्हें ऐसी बातों से जरूर प्रेरणा लेनी चाहिए कि रंगनाथन चाहे हैं या नहीं, लेकिन उनकी प्रतिलिपि, उनका प्रतिरूप हमारे पास बहुत सारे रूपों में उपलब्ध है। डीवी सर है, पीके गुप्ता सर है, करोरी सिंह सर है, ये सभी लोग हैं जो हमारे सामने उन्हीं के प्रतिरूप में, हमें उन्हें उचित सम्मान और उसी प्रेम दृष्टि से हम आपको देखते हैं। धन्यवाद सर। और इसी के साथ में डॉक्टर मिली वाजपेयी, डेप्टी लाइब्रेरियन, एसएमएस मेडिकल कॉलेज, उन्हें इन्वाइट करना चाहती हूँ कि वह यहाँ आए और अपने विचार व्यक्त करें। Thank you, Deepali. Wishing you all a very happy Librarians Day. It gives me immense pleasure to be librarian of such a prestigious institute. I often notice that people stumble upon this profession by chance, but this has never been a case with me. I am in this profession with all my heart and soul. Coming back to the topic, Dr. D.V. Singh sir and Dr. Pawan Gupta sir have made my task easier, as they have spoken about Professor S.R. Ranganathan's contribution and also throw the light on some of the challenges that the library information science professionals are facing. I am therefore specifically focusing on medical and health science libraries and how Professor Ranganathan's ideas and thoughts are still relevant to the management of medical and health science libraries. About Ranganathan, he was born in a small village near Madras. His father passed away when he was only 6 years old. Hence, he had a tough life right from his childhood. The challenges of real life made him very strong, enlightened. Ranganathan begins his professional life as a mathematician. He earned his bachelor and master's degree in mathematics from Madras Christian College. His lifelong goal was teaching mathematics, but destiny took him to another court when he was joined as a librarian in University of Madras. In no time, he realized that it was not his piece of cake, and then he immediately asked to Vice Chancellor of University to transfer him back to his mathematics department. He offered him to go to London and study about librarianship for next 6 months, and from here the table turned for Ranganathan. When he came back, he noticed 3 things around him: that reader, book, and staff. He then made up his mind that working on these 3 areas will surely help him to succeed in librarianship. With the course of time, he did some tremendous work in the field of library science. Some of them are 5 laws of library science, colon classification, classified catalog code, canon, reference services, and many others. These gained recognition and appreciation not only in India but overseas. Before the age of Ranganathan, it was only librarianship, but the brought mathematics and logistics to the subject, and that is how we ended up here with library science. Later, with time, library science expanded its limbs around and evolved as a library and information science. Ranganathan's ideas were focused on general library management in scientific way. We especially did focus on medical and health science library. Medical and health science libraries are different from general libraries.
The special nature of medical library needs special management patterns. Unlike general other libraries, the source, demand, and urgency of information is vast and need to be catered on time in the health science library. The medical science is growing, medical library has to run its horses accordingly. The frequency of amendments and new issues are more here than any other libraries. Medical and health science libraries are physically to digitized library impacted on all the aspects of management patterns. Simultaneously, the information component become more important than keeping books and articles. Such a changing context has posed multiple challenges before the library personnel. Medical and health science libraries were working on the initially knowledge and training, which are conventional pattern of library and information science. The library personnel, therefore, are required to undergo special short courses to cope up with the emerging challenges before the medical and health science libraries, for which FHSLA is a continuous striving to impact knowledge and skills which can be enhanced management capacity of library personnel in medical and health science library, as well as make them more resourceful with the recent technological advancement. Professor Ranganathan is a source of inspiration, guidance, and strength to this kind of efforts. Medical and health science libraries are getting consolidated and integrated in order to make them more efficient and cost effective, for which Government of Rajasthan has already issued the order for establishing medical and health science library consortia on the initiative of Dr. P.R. Meena sir. The consortia is more important term in integrating all medical and health science libraries in Rajasthan and making available e-resources to readers in different college free of cost and efficient money. Dr. Robert Hallig Library, under the leadership of Dr. P.R. Meena sir, with the constant support and cooperation of Dr. Sudhir Bhandari sir, Principal and Controller, SMS Medical College and attached hospital, doing marvelous work for promoting digitization and offering e-services to its reader. The reader can just go to the library website and get the required literature just by clicking few icons while sitting at their home or office. Even in this pandemic situation, Dr. Robert Hallig Library is therefore making its own contribution in realizing the dream of Professor Ranganathan. I pay my heartfelt respect to Professor S.R. Ranganathan on his 129th birth anniversary and his contribution which we enable to us to gather to this afternoon and remember the father of library science for his contribution and in promoting both libraries as well as advanced library and information science. At the last, to sum up, I would like to thank FHSLA Executive Committee and Professor Kirori Singh sir for proposing my name for this prestigious opportunity. Moving ahead, I would like to present my sincere gratitude to Dr. P.R. Meena sir, President FHSLA and RMLA, for providing me platform as well as support to stand in front of you all. Thanking him could never be enough. My guru, lifetime mentor, Dr. Pawan Kumar Gupta sir, who have been with me for countless years. Whatever I am today, it's because of you, sir. Last but not the least, my audience for your attention and patience. Thank you.
thank you so much, Dr. Millie Vashrai. And the session was really nice. और आप अपने दिल की बात हम तक पहुंचा पाई हैं exactly जो आप कहना चाहते थे. We could understand that. Now I request Professor Karori Singh sir to please add glories to this session.
Thank you, Deepali, for giving me this opportunity. I'm grateful to the FHSLA for giving me opportunity to speak on the National Librarians Day. It is a great occasion that grateful offsprings are remembering Professor srranganathan on this great occasion, that is the 12th August. And it is also greater in the sense that International Youth Day is also coinciding on this day. So Professor Ranganathan was a great soul who has developed the library science, as Dr. P.K. Gupta Sahab has told that Professor Ranganathan, the library system is not an organization, but it's a living organism. So it's continuously evolving. This was one of the laws. And Professor Ranganathan, mathematician turned library professional and having social concerns in his mind, that is the great achievement of Professor Ranganathan. But what we have achieved thereafter, that we shall have to think about it. During the Professor Ranganathan's period, the important was the library management, physical management of the library, and to develop library science as a discipline. That was the time. And thereafter, new challenges came before the library and information science. In fact, the information became more important than the physical management of the library and books and journals only. So how to manage the information? This is the growing challenge for the library professionals. Personally, I think when some of my friends talk that I don't need library, in my mobile I have library, everything is available on the Google or the cyberspace. What for I need the library? What for I should visit the library? But the empirical reality is not proving it. Libraries are expanding in size and scale. New concepts are evolving in case of libraries, like street library, rural library, or even for the competitive examinations, different libraries are evolving. In every colony, you will see some kind of library. So the libraries are expanding in size and scale, despite talking about the cyberspace and the information management. The problem arises different before the library professionals, particularly librarians, is the infodemic. And nowadays it is very difficult to have a precise information, the information with the forensic precision. That is the biggest challenge, because if we are having a predator information, predator publications, that is doing greater damage to the human society, not only society, in medical and health science, that is doing greater damage to the human life health, because human life is involved. And if the false information, fake information is spreading, fake findings are spreading, they are creating more problems. The statistical information tell that there are nearly 8,000 predator journals are being published these days in the global situation. And all these research journals are publishing nearly 4 lakh studies every year. So it's they are expanding like anything. Mushroom-like growth is there of the library, the journals and the books, which are based on predator research. So the librarian's job is to scan all these things, these findings, with the forensic precision to help the society, to help the human being, help the medical professionals. That is the biggest challenge. So library professionals are facing greater challenges, and they shall have to fight in a sort of war, and not only the single wolf war, but it should be the collective war. It should be an interdependence war, a war with a solidarity, and for which Professor Ranganathan can provide a solidarity. He gave certain foundations, certain fundamentals, and we shall have to go beyond that fundamentals. And Professor Ranganathan's vision and his wisdom is all right, but the willingness of the present day librarians must be enhanced. So the FHSLA has
I think we've lost connectivity again.
whatever the library professional had in the library information department, this department had passed a long time thereafter. So the
Sir?
keep them informed in the library and
Excuse me, sir. Sir, there seems to be some problem with the network. Your voice is cracking and your video had also gone.
it's an
Yes, sir. Please try to speak again. I think, sir, it's back.
yes, I'm audible.
Yes, sir. You are audible.
So because of this spread of information and the fake information, pre-data research, they are evolving in the multiplicative values, like drug-resistant microbes. They are evolving simultaneously with the invention of different drugs and pharmacy, these vaccinations. Similarly, recently the virus is having so many mutations, so many changes in the virus are taking place, and so how to manage these type of things, that is the challenge before the librarians. Moreover, the public libraries and the specialized libraries are two different things, but the specialization of libraries is becoming more important these days because of the specialization of the knowledge, but it's not in exclusive terms. The public libraries have their role to play. Dr. Gupta might be aware, in the Rajasthan University Central Library, there used to be the South Asia Studies room within the library to evolve a sort of area studies library, area studies component within the University Central Library. Later on, there were certain problems, so it could not evolve beyond certain limit because other departments had resistance that why the one department is having a room and the small library within the library. So there are certain problems in evolving the specialized library. But now in the country, we have a specialized library for the students, those who are appearing in the competitive examinations, students, those who are involved in the research, students, those who are living in the remote areas, the public libraries, medical and health libraries, technological libraries. So these specializations are there. And on the basis of these specializations, the library personnel, they need the special type of training and the refresher courses. So the FHSLA is planning all these things. We are running behind the schedule. I know this thing. So I will not be taking much time. I express my sense of gratitude to the FHSLA and the organizer for giving me this opportunity. And I am sure FHSLA will flourish and make its contribution with the solidarity of different library personnel, and also fight for the professional service conditions for the librarians, because it is obviously understood that FHSLA is not merely contributing to the library and the information science discipline, but it is also for the cause of the service conditions of the librarians. And the librarians have been given by as a Cinderella treatment in the past. Because in most of the institutions, even in medical and health science field, the librarians are not being treated at par with the academic faculty. So the FHSLA has an advocacy purpose of that. But this National Librarians Day celebration is not for that advocacy purpose, but FHSLA will continue for the fight for the cause of librarians with the solidarity. With these words, I would like to thank each and everyone for giving sympathetic hearing and for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Deepal.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really wonderful, your profound knowledge, and it was full of zeal and information for us. Thank you so much once again from everyone. And I thank all these speakers of this session. With this, I would like to invite Mr. Gaurav Singhal from Thieme Publications.
Ma'am, it's actually Mr. Biswajit Mishra.
Are you not able to hear me?
Yes, we are able to hear you. The name of the speaker is Mr. Biswajit Sharma. Mishra, sorry, Biswajit Mishra.
Okay, Thieme Publication is an award-winning international medical and science publisher. Those who are serving health professionals, students for more than 125 years. And they helped us in organizing this symposium and had been a support for the profession. So I invite Mr. Sudeep Sharma for their presentation.
Thanks, everyone. I will just be sharing my screen. Will you share my screen? Is it?
It's coming.
Just to inform me when the screen.
Nothing is visible yet, but something seems to be coming. It's a blank screen right now. Can you share it again? Yes, we can see.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. I'm Sri Mishra, and I would be taking you to the Thieme Indian journals that we are into. But before starting to it, it was a really nice meeting we had, and I would like to thank and wish all the librarians a very happy Librarian Day, and we would like to really applaud your efforts, specifically in the last 1.5 years during the pandemic. That entire library has put in an effort to share the information that were available with them to the faculty and the students. So we really applaud the efforts that have been made by each and every one of you in your respective institutions. Moving forward to what we have in the as a Thieme as a company. Thieme is a 130-year-old company which with a headquarters in Stuttgart in Germany. We are the pioneer in publishing the X-ray, which was the first X-ray which we did published in 1895. And the company is preferably known as for the atlases, world-class atlases that we print in print book. We are the #1 publisher in plastic surgery and neurosurgery. And along with that, we do publish books and journals in ENT, radiology, and orthopedic and speech and language. The another part, which is a non-medical, is the organic chemistry and the pharmaceutical, where we do have our research books. In India, we started our operation in 2008 as a company as a whole in the book business. But in 2015, we got itself in the journal publishing with 4 journals as of when we started the journal publishing. And today in 2021, we have more than 30 journals which have been published by Thieme with renowned associations of the societies. And most of our journals published in the Thieme are multi-indexed and are indexed in the services like Scopus, the Web Science, and other important indexing. Thieme is attached to these renowned associations of the society. Indian Journals of Radiological Imaging Society, which is one of the leading radiology society, Indian Association of Laboratory Physicians, Associations of the Plastic Surgeons of India, National Academy of the Medical Sciences. Along with this, we are associated with more than 15 more Indian societies in publishing their journals. We are some of the leading indexing services provider in which our journals are being indexed. And these are the important journals which probably you all are aware of: Indian Journal of Radiology and Journals of Hand and Microsurgery, Journals of Laboratory Physicians, Journals of Neurocritical Care, and then we have South Asian Journals of Cancer, Medical and Pediatric Oncology, Indian Journal of Neurotrauma, and Journal of Neuroscience in the Rural Development. As I said that we are not a publisher which go and publish. We are not into the core field. We worked on a very specific field, and more or less we are into super specialty. And we do publish journals in the very limited area of specialization, where cardiac care, critical care, dentistry, endocrinology, endoscopic, health services, and internal medicines are some of the important features apart from our regular practices of neurosurgery, plastic surgery, where we are pioneer, and we do love to publish journals in those core specialties. All the journals that we do publish are an open access journal, but the print version of all these medical journals that are available with us and which can be offered to the library as a package, and the cost of that package is 1.20 lakh in an INR, which is presently an important aspect that all the institutions should have this journals as per the requirement of the governing body. That's all from the presentation, because considering to the time, we have restricted ourselves to only for the medical journals, Indian medical journals for the presentation. I would be happy to take any questions if anybody would be interested in asking.
If there is any question, you can enter it in the chat box.
Thanks, Manish, and thanks for giving us an opportunity to present Thieme Indian journals to all of you. And I hope that in near future with the association, we can do some favor or some good work in terms of entertaining or in providing the information to all our medical fraternity in the library. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vishweet, sir. We are in a digital era and it's mandatory to be up to date with all the latest information and technology. So I request Mr. Manjeet Singh from Up to Date to come and show his presentation and update us. Mr. Manjeet Singh, please join us.
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, very much.
Okay, great. So thanks a lot for giving us this opportunity. We're happy and we're honored to be a part of this very prestigious event that has been organized, and thankful for the stakeholders who have allowed us to present and share our thoughts with reference to what we have been doing in the healthcare industry. My name is Manjeet Singh, and I work with Wolters Kluwer. Wolters Kluwer is again one of the leading healthcare publication companies in the world. And today I wanted to spend maybe next 10 minutes to give you some perspective about one of the most trusted clinical decision support system that we have today, which is called as Up to Date. I'm sure some of you might have heard about it, but I think for the larger audience, what I would like to do is to quickly show you as to how this product looks like, how it works, and how it basically helps, whether it is a clinician, whether it is a resident, a doctor, nurse, students, the entire healthcare provider. Up to Date is helping and supporting them with reference to improved medical knowledge, with reference to giving instant latest information that is available globally. So without wasting much time, I would just quickly share my screen, and do let me know once you're able to see my screen, please. So what I will do, I will simply go to Up to Date. I will just minimize this. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible. Yes.
Okay, great. So as I told you, we are from Up to Date. Up to Date is a clinical decision support system which is designed for clinicians and students to attain latest up-to-date evidence-based knowledge and are able to take the right decisions at point of care. So when I say point of care, it means that even today, while a doctor is engaging with a patient at point of care, and when he has any query, he can at that point in time also go to Up to Date, enter his query. Now that query could be with reference to a drug, with reference to any disease, with reference to symptoms, anything with related to his needs. He can simply enter that in this small box that you would see, which looks like very similar to a Google kind of a search box, and can get the information in matter of, I would say, seconds. Now, the important part is that the base of the results that will be showed on Up to Date, what we are doing, we are basically referring to more than 4.5 lakh different references. We have more than 400 to 500 plus all top global journals, society guidelines, so on and so forth, we are referring to. And we have more than 7,000 physician authors who are basically building, writing this content and delivering it to all our users. So I'm very proud to share that already SMS Jaipur is using Up to Date for many years, and we have got great adoption and usage. And across the country, if you look at all AIIMS, all top institutes, premier institutes are already leveraging and using Up to Date for many years. Now the good part here is that Up to Date not only can be used only from the web, but can also be accessed through your smartphones, your mobile phones. So as earlier the discussion was happening with reference to how we can transform the whole content from a library standpoint and offer it in a more digitized manner, so that more and more people can use that information. Keeping that in mind, Up to Date whenever we are giving it to our, whenever we are giving it to any hospital, each and every user will have the access of it on his mobile phone. So no matter wherever they are, no matter whether they are in the hospital, in the medical college, or they are at home studying, trying to improve their knowledge or working on a case, or for that matter, they might be in a flight where there is no internet connection, even then they would have complete access to UpToDate. So that's how strong the software is, how we have built this solution. Now, I know I have very limited time, but I will just show you one example very quickly as to how this software works. So let us take one very, very basic example of treatment of diabetes. For example, what I do, I will start typing diabetes, and the moment I start typing, you would see it already starts to give me some options. What I can do, I can simply click on diabetes mellitus type 2 treatment. I can click this and it instantly takes me to the next screen, which tells me which are all the topics that I'm interested in with reference to diabetes treatment. I can also choose whether it is adult or pediatric. I, for example, choose this first topic, which is initial management of hyperglycemia in adults. So I click it, it will take me to the topic detail. On the left, see, the idea is the way we have designed the software, you are as a user will be able to find the information which is relevant to you, which you can trust, and which you can find it in matter of, I would say, seconds. That is the beauty of UpToDate. So what I can do when I get into this topic, on the left hand side, you would see all these topic outlines. For example, for diabetes, I am more interested in understanding, choice. What should be the choice of initial therapy? Is it an asymptomatic, not catabolic, metformin, so on and so forth? I can choose. For example, I click initial therapy. So it will take me to this specific subtopic. Or what I can do, for every topic, we will have something called as summary and recommendation. It will be in the form of bullet points and will guide that what could be done in this specific case. Here you would see it is simply saying we suggest initiating metformin at the time of diabetes diagnosis. Metformin is the name of the drug. You can also click metformin and further find out all the drug information with reference to metformin. We have got more than 6,600 plus different drug information. So overall, if I would have to tell you, so yeah, before that, I want to touch upon one more very important topic. So if I go up, you would see, as I was talking about, we have got more than 7,000 physician authors which are working for us. Here, you would also be able to know as to who has written this specific topic. And if I click it, you will come to know that this one is Deborah Wexler, who's the Associate Professor of Medicine at the Harvard Medical School. Now, not only do we have top experts who are writing for us, we are covering all the global medical journal society guidelines, and we are having a rigorous editorial process, which means that anything that is getting written or up to date is going through multiple rounds of review. So the section editor further reviews it, deputy editor further reviews it, and then we have a peer blind review process. So it is a very stringent process of review that we do before anything can be updated on UpToDate. Last thing, before I wrap it up, it is a very long demonstration, but I just want to give you a feel of how UpToDate looks like. The most important thing you would see is we also let you know as to when was this topic last updated. So as the name itself says UpToDate, which means that we are actually working around the clock and updating all the 12,000 plus topics in 25 plus different specialties that we're covering in UpToDate. We are working around the clock to keep on updating, keep on, sharing what is the latest information. You don't have to wait for, 1 year so that the new volume will come. Whatever changes are happening, you would be updated. And we will tell you the date as to when this topic was last updated. If you go down, you would see all these references from where we have built this topic. So I can click on any of this reference and it will take me to the PubMed ID. I can click it and it will take me to the journal from where we have picked up. So in this case, it is this specific abstract. And if you want to further read it, a lot of these are full text articles available. You can click it and further read it for your detailed information. So there are a lot of features, but I would definitely not go into it. However, what I would say that if in case anyone who is interested to implement up to date, we will be more than happy to associate. And if you're looking for some kind of a trial access, we would be more than happy to offer the trial so that the users can use, get a look, get a feel of the product, and then probably we can, work it out further. So this is it from my side. If there is any question, I will be more than happy to answer it. Otherwise, I am pretty much done from my side. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Manjeet Singh ji. It was a good presentation and such a wonderful app. Technology has really spread its wings so far. Now, as you know, it is our Librarian Day. So if anybody wants to share any of his views, want to say something, please. Okay, so Sudhakar Sharma sir wants to share a poem with us.
हेलो, ये अभी हमने लाइब्रेरियंस डे पे ये सभी सेमिनार के बारे में सब सुना था। इसको 5 दोहे के रूप में सारगर्भित में करूंगा। सबसे पहले मैं मां शारदा को नमन करता हूं। ग्रंथालय दिवस पर हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। आप सभी को ग्रंथालय दिवस पर हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। सबसे पहले डॉक्टर पीके गुप्ता सर, प्रोफेसर किरोरी सिंह जी, PR मीना साहब, डॉक्टर मिली वाजपेयी, डॉक्टर वशिष्ठ सर और हमारे स्क्वायर अनीता मैडम, अनीता गंगराड़ी। हाँ, तो सबसे पहले देखा जा रहा और सभी लाइब्रेरियंस को, हमारे पीछे त्रिमूर्ति राजस्थान विश्वविद्यालय की बैठी हुई है, उनको भी नमन। हाँ, तो लाइब्रेरी पे आप सबके लिए एक दीपक तुम जलाओ, एक दीपक हम जलाएं, कुछ अंधेरा तुम मिटाओ, कुछ अंधेरा हम मिटाएं। हाँ, और आगे कि जीवो तुम प्यार से जीवो, जीवो तुम प्यार से जीवो, मुस्कुराकर जीवो, तुम प्यार से जीवो, मुस्कुराकर जीवन की खुशियों को लूट लो, हंसी इस जिंदगी को तुम प्यार से गुलजार कर लो। लाइब्रेरियंस डे पर सभी को हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। रंगानाथन डे, जिनका हर सफल व्यक्ति के जीवन में, जैसे तुलसीदास जी के में, कालिदास जी में, तो उनकी महोदया, उनका नाम शारदा था, तो उन्होंने ऐसा रंग रखा कि वो नाथन बन गए, पितामह हो गए लाइब्रेरियंस डे में। तो रंगानाथन को नमन है। ग्रंथालय दिवस है आज। 5 दोहे बोलूंगा, उसमें सारा कुछ आ जाएगा। रंगानाथन को नमन है। ग्रंथालय दिवस है आज। ग्रंथालय के तुम पितामह हैं, ग्रंथालय के तुम पितामह है। ग्रंथालय विज्ञान के गौरव हैं आप। लाइब्रेरियंस डे पर आप सभी को बहुत मुबारकबाद। लाइब्रेरियंस डे पर आप सभी को बहुत मुबारकबाद। हम अपने कर्म पथ पर बढ़े चलें, हम अपने कर्म पथ पर बढ़े चलें, हम अपने कर्म पथ पर बढ़े चलें और चलें समय के साथ। लाइब्रेरियंस के कार्य और सेवा में बहुत परिवर्तन है आज। लाइब्रेरी के कार्य और सेवा में बहुत परिवर्तन है आज, जैसे कि ई लाइब्रेरी, कंसोर्शिया, पाठकों की चाहत है आज। वेबिनार का चलन है, जैसा कि हम वर्चुअल लाइब्रेरी कर रहे हैं, वेबिनार का चलन है, करें अपने को अपडेट। वेबिनार का चलन है, करें अपने को अपडेट। पाठकों की सेवा में उपयोग हो इन्फोनेट, डेलनेट। पाठकों की सेवा में उपयोग हो इन्फोनेट, डेलनेट। पंथ बहुत है बढ़ने के, हम अपने आप को अपडेट कर सकते हैं। चेंज आया है, पहले बुक्स को लेने देने का ही काम होता था, आजकल क्या है, टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ में हम टेक्नोलॉजी को हमें उपयोग करना चाहिए। पंथ बहुत है बढ़ने के, यूजीसी के बहुत सारे हैं मंच। पंथ बहुत है बढ़ने के, यूजीसी के बहुत सारे हैं मंच, जैसे स्वमेव, NPTEL, सोल आदि लाइब्रेरी के हैं तंत्र। इसी प्रकार से लास्ट में एक दोहा, एक मुक्तक पढ़ करके मैं अपने वाणी को विराम देना चाहूंगा। मन हो अगर ज्योतिर्मय तो फिर बात बन जाए, मन हो अगर ज्योतिर्मय तो फिर बात बन जाए, मन के उद्गार अच्छे हों तो रोज दिवाली हो जाए, मन के उद्गार अच्छे हों तो रोज दिवाली हो जाए, मन का मीत मिले कोई तो हमारे तबस्सुम खिल जाए, और मन की बात मन से हो तो ये चमन गुलजार हो जाए। सभी को लाइब्रेरियंस डे की शुभकामनाएं। धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, sir. It was beautifully written and wonderfully presented. Thank you so much. Now the moment has come to add a golden feather in the hair of success, and it's time to announce awards, and I would like to give the mic to Professor Karuri Singh, sir.
I have been assigned the responsibility to announce the awards. If I recall how we planned and organized this today's function and to commemorate Ranganathan's birthday, when executive of FHSLA met to decide how to commemorate Professor Ranganathan's day, we came to the conclusion that it should not be the FHSLA affair. All the stakeholders must come together. There must be participation of different associations, organizations, and those who are having any sort of stake in the library management, they must come together. So it was decided to have a function with solidarity and participation with different organizations. So it was decided to have with the theme up to date, with the public library, with the medical and health science library, with the Rajasthan Medical Library Association, all came together to commemorate this function. The second suggestion came, which is an inspiration from Professor Ranganathan's ideas, that it's not the static organization, it's not a one-day affair to commemorate the National Librarians Day, just to celebrate one day and then forget it. It's a sort of organism. It's continuously evolving. So it will not be ritualistic to commemorate this day or only for a day. So it was decided in the executive committee that we shall have to institute some awards, those who are contributing immensely towards library management. For them, we must encourage them, we must recognize their contribution, so it can be a living affair for everyday life in the library management. So it was decided that there must be 6 awards. These awards may be increased in future, but it's the first occasion. So FHSLA executive decided to institute 6 awards. First award is on Librarian of the Year Award, and the 2 awards have been instituted in this category, one in the medical and health science library, another in the general library. Then the second one is Professor S.R. Ranganathan is Memorial Scholar Award, one in junior category, other one in senior category. Then the 5th award is on Lifetime Achievement Award. For a very senior person who has devoted his whole life for the cause of the library and information science. For them, we have instituted this award. And the 6th award is for Professor Ranganathan Distinguished Fellow Award. And this award is having the FHSLA Fellow, and the persons, those who are getting award, they will have continuous association with the FHSLA. So for these 6 awards, we put an announcement, call for nominations and applications on the social media, WhatsApp and Facebook. And in all, we have received 23 applications. And all these applications are really meritorious. These are the best applications. Perhaps those who are not eligible, they could have assessed themselves, so they did not submit any nomination or application. All the best applications we have received, excellent applications. And then the award committee was established in the beginning by the FHSLA Executive Committee. And the award committee went through and reviewed these applications rigorously, minutely. And as you know, the jury's job is really very difficult. Jury shall have to be judicious. Jury cannot be divine, but shall have to be judicious. With a sense of justice, the applications were reviewed by the jury. Jury's job is really difficult. You know how difficult it is, because the small change may make a difference, or it may lead to injustice. But still the jury does not claim that they have delivered any poetic justice or any divine justice. Of course, it is judgmental justice. So there may be some disagreements, some grievances, there may be some difference of opinion among the members of the jury, and those who are getting the award and those who did not get the award, there may be the different opinion, but the jury unanimously awarded the 6 awards. The first award goes to Librarian of the Year award, and in the field of general library, including the public libraries. General library includes the university libraries and technical education libraries and the public libraries. So jury unanimously conferred this award. Of course, we are just announcing that really the awards will be conferred during the annual conference of the FHSLA, and there will be felicitation of all the awardees during the annual meeting. So the first award goes to Dr. Deepak Srivastava, Librarian of the Year award. The second in the Medical and Health Science Librarian of the Year award goes to Dr. Rajiv Manhas, Library Head, Baba Farid University Health Science Faridkot. And Library of the Year award, the assessment of the work and performance is 2020 and 21 performance. And these are the 2020 and 21 is a difficult period. It was very difficult to conduct research and to make any innovative contribution in the field of library. Everything was disturbed. Even libraries were closed. So it was not expected that there will be something highly innovative during this period, but still the jury thought that these 2 applications are worth for the award of the year, Librarian of the Year award. Then there are 2 awards, one Professor Ranganathan Memorial Award in the senior category, Senior Scholar Award. And it goes to Dr. Rajiv Vasisht, Librarian, Chamanlal Mahavidyalaya, Government, Uttarakhand. He is from Uttarakhand. Then the junior Professor Ranganathan Memorial Junior Scholar Award goes to Dr. Shyamji Parmar, Chief Librarian, CU Shah Memorial College, Surendra Nagar, Gujarat. So it seems that all the regions are being represented, but from the south we did not receive applications. We received only 1 application from Chennai, and that too, that person was inquiring that whether there will be some fees or some payment. Then we responded that it's not a commodity market. goods to be sold and purchased and like that. We responded him, you should not ask this question whether there will be some fees so I can purchase the award or something like this. That was his intention. So the jury did not, though jury considered there was no bias, but jury did not find that person from the South as a suitable person for the award. Then the Lifetime Achievement Award. It's a very difficult because to assess the long period of someone's performances of 40 years or maybe the 35 years or so. But the jury, after evaluating all the applications and with the rigorous review, has decided to award, confer this award to Professor Dr. P.P. Rao, ex-Chief Librarian Sanjay Gandhi PGI of Medical Science, Lucknow, Advisor, Library of Ram Manohar Lohia, Institute of Medical Science, Lucknow. Then the last award, that is the Honorary Distinguished Fellow of FHSLA. The FHSLA executive decided that we can consider even the retired and working person, but that person have a very senior position. So the FHSLA has, the jury has decided to confer this award to Dr. Dharamveer Singh, the Chief Librarian, former Chief Librarian of the Delhi University, and now he is now that Dr. Dharamveer Singh is no, not retired, he is working still. Now Dr. Dharamveer Singh is working SRM University Librarian, SRM University Librarian. It's I think it's an Haryana SRM librarian. So he is still working, and he had been the president, secretary, and vice president of the Indian Library Association during different periods. So he has served the Indian Library Association for a long period of time on almost all the major positions, president, vice president, and secretary. And his research contribution is on transformational leadership and change management. His research focus is transformational management, leadership, and the change management. And Professor Ranganathan's perception was that things are changing, continuously evolving, and these things shall have to be managed. And the leadership is also changing. So how the leadership is transforming, how the change is being managed, that is the focus of research. So considering his professional career, his research accomplishments, the jury decided to confer this senior award, Distinguished Fellow of FHSLA, to Dr. Dharamveer Singh. And these awards are announced today, and these will be conferred during the annual conference of FHSLA, which is likely to take place sometime in November if everything remains normal, because awards can be confirmed and the awardees can be felicited if there is in-person, offline conference. So if unanticipated third wave becomes unanticipated or it doesn't take place, then the FHSLA conference will be in November. Otherwise, the FHSLA conference may be online, but online the conference organization will not be so graceful. So our thinking is, the FHSLA's thinking is to have annual conference offline or in person. So these awards will be conferred during the annual conference, and I congratulate all the awardees on my behalf, on behalf of FHSLA, and on behalf of all the participants in today's National Librarian Day commemoration, and on the birth anniversary of Professor S.R. Ranganathan. All the awardees are being congratulated by all of us. Thank you very much, all the participants, and special thanks and congratulations to all the awardees. Thank you very much. Guldasta. वो थोड़ा ही अवार्ड को
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. I request Ma'am Harko to please present vote of thanks. I request Ma'am Harko to please present vote of thanks. Okay, okay. Manasa, please join us.
Yes. Hello. First of all, thank you so much, ma'am. Shall I? Hello.
Manhaj sir, congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. It's your kind blessings, sir. Blessings of all the dignitaries present here, and especially you, sir, Professor Pawan Kumar Gupta, sir, and Dr. P.R. Meena, sir. Thank you so much for your kind blessings. Professor Prori Singh, Emeritus Fellow and former Director, South Asia Studies Center, University of Rajasthan. Dr. Dharamveer Singh, former University Librarian, University of Delhi. Dr. Pawan Kumar Gupta, former Director, Central Library, University of Rajasthan. Dr. Mili Bajpai, Deputy Librarian, SMS Medical College, Jaipur. Dr. P.R. Meena ji, our Honorable President, FHSLA, and Librarian, SMS Medical College, Jaipur. Dr. Harkaur, Secretary, FHSLA, and Dr. Rajiv Vashishta, Treasurer, FHSLA, and fellow members of press and media, and most valuable delegates of this event. Dear friends, it's indeed my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of FHSLA and the entire fraternity of Library and Information Science, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all our esteemed speakers of this event, especially Professor Prori Singh, Dr. Dharamveer Singh, Dr. Pawan Kumar Gupta, and Dr. Mili Bajpai, who are really stalwarts of their respective subject fields and are so generous and kind enough for accepting our invitation and be with us and have shown their greatness and dedication towards the profession. A special thanks to Dr. P.R. Meena ji, our president of FHSLA, who took this challenge and has been proven himself as the best leader. We are highly thankful to Thieme Publisher, especially Mr. Dinesh Sharma and Amit Chauhan. Without their support, we even can't think to organize such a mega event in this virtual age. We put on records that Thieme and up to date, Mr. Dinesh and Manjeet Singh and their team are the most vibrant publishing house and leaders of the future knowledge industry. We are thankful to Dr. Harkar, Dr. Rajiv Vishishta for their insights in planning this event. Support of all other executive members and members of FHSLA also highly appreciable. I must mention a deep sense of appreciation to all press and media with a request for wider press coverage of this event. Last but not least, we would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to all our delegates who have given us such an honor and made this event a great success. Well, sir, ladies and gentlemen, an event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling months ago. It requires planning and bird's eye for details. We have been fortunate enough to be back with a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues who known for their job and are result oriented. Sir, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to state that we are almost grateful to all virtually present in this webinar. We thank you for being with us on this great venture. It's great pleasure, and we hope we will get your support in all our future events. Thank you very much. And I have no words that an award which has been bestowed on this occasion to me, and I will try to walk on the steps shown by all the dignitaries present here, even Professor Ranganathan. So thanks, which is not enough for such trust shown on me. Once again, thank you very much, all present there. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, and heartiest congratulations from our side. And
thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
This award is not only love; it is your hard work which is reflecting now. And with this, I request all our friends and dignitaries that we have some tea and snacks for you. And all the participants, I like to thank you, please, for joining us. And please get a cup of tea or coffee for yourself at your home. Thank you so much for staying with us. Thank you so much for staying with us. And I request everyone to please join us for the refreshment. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
We have also added the feedback link and other links on the chat box. So if you are interested in writing to us or following us on social media, you can click on the links provided in the chat box. The e-certificate link is also available. So you can click on it and you can register for the e-certificate and fill the feedback as well. Thank you. Thank you so much for the event, sir. Thank you so much for the platform. Thank you so much for the opportunity. The
session is officially over. Participants can log out now. Thank you.